Welcome back to the Blue Collar Boxing Podcast. I am Luke from Biloxi. Hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. And again, welcome to my initial post fight reaction to Terrence Bud Crawford winning a unanimous decision against Saul Canelo Alvarez to win the undisputed super middleweight world championship. It occurred early this morning in Las Vegas. What a win for Terrence Crawford. I will say the judges that were appointed to this fight got it right. I had it 8-4 for Crawford. Follow me on X at Blue Collar Boxing. You will see my official scorecard that I had for the fight. Can't disagree with the scores at all. There were some swing rounds, but nothing, no chicanery here. No Canelo, Triple G one, none of that. Terrence Crawford is the deserved undisputed super middleweight champion of the world, and I applaud him. And I was wrong. I was wrong. For those of you who follow me, for those of you who watch my videos, you can expect candor here. I picked Canelo Alvarez to win this fight, and I was wrong. Those of you who picked Canelo to win, you were right. Congratulations. Uh, a virtuoso performance by Terrence Bud Crawford. Outstanding boxing. He controlled the fight. There were moments for Canelo. He did win 4 rounds, at least on my card, and he was able to hit and land cleanly on Crawford, and Crawford took it very well. Canelo was searching for that one magical punch throughout the night. He did bother Crawford at times, but it just wasn't enough. I think actually there were 2 rounds in the fight, I believe 8 and perhaps 10. I have to go back and look for sure. Where I actually think Crawford kind of took the rounds off, trying to save just a little bit of juice so that he could cleanly win the fight down the stretch. And he did on my card. He won 10 and 12 cleanly. Had Canelo very bothered, had him just uh, sort of unable to deal with the footwork and the southpaw stance and was landing vicious clean shots. And Crawford even had a mouse going on Canelo's left eye in the first round of the fight. Just a tremendous performance. I I uh I was wrong about the weight. I thought the weight. I was wrong about the inactivity. That means that Terrence Crawford, if he can do that after a 13-month layoff, he's among the best to ever do it. Clearly, he's a gym rat. But there's sparring and all the things that he does. But most guys who fought once in the last 2 years can't move up 2 weight classes and beat the undisputed champion. Terrence Crawford did. And he deserves all the accolades. I hate that term, give him his flowers. I can't stand it. Shouldn't have even mentioned it, but I think it's just, I guess it's something the kids say, and I just can't stand it. Um, I've always liked Bud. I'll never forget when he won his first title at 135 pounds. He insisted on his title defense, his first title defense being in Omaha. And Bob Arum at the time that, that's who he was with said, well, we can do that, but you're going to have to take a significant pay cut because the ticket prices that we would get there as opposed to Vegas or somewhere else are just not on par. And Bud said, I don't care. I want to fight in front of my people. My pick for Canelo had nothing to do with anything related to the character of Bud Crawford. It had to do with who I thought would win, and I was wrong. So again, if you continue to follow this channel, if you continue to follow me on X, know you're going to get candor from me. Um, it's interesting to think about what might be next for both fighters. Crawford is now a 3 division undisputed world champion, 140, 147, and 168. He held a belt at 135. I can't think of anybody who held a belt at 135 that actually held a belt at 168. That doesn't exist. That hasn't happened. That is tremendous. Excuse me, De La Hoya held a belt at 130 and then would hold a belt at 160. That's like the closest comparison I can find. Of course, Roy Jones held a belt at 160 and then would later hold a heavyweight belt after his win against John Ruiz. But those are trinkets. They're not undisputed. Uh, Three-time undisputed in the four belt era. Historic, historic. It's a for a guy to do that at 38 years old, to win the fight the way that he did, and it wasn't controversial. It just wasn't. It was clear and concise. Through 4 rounds, I'd been on record as saying I was worried about the judges, that Canelo would perhaps basically be 4-0 on the scorecards before the fight even started. There's no if they didn't. I had it 3-1 Crawford after four. So I know some other people had it maybe 2-2. I could see that, but uh, congratulations to the judges tonight. They got it right. It's a whole nother video to discuss the fact that we expect to get for them to get it wrong, but they got it right tonight. So congratulations to Terrence Bud Crawford. He is the American face of boxing. He is uh, deserved of all praise that he gets from this fight. And he should be counted among the greatest fighters of all time, particularly because of the weight jump. You have to go back to, I think, Henry Armstrong in the one belt era. Yes, that existed at one point, to find somebody who did what he did tonight, and that was in the 30s. I mean, we're talking pre-World War II. It's not even the same sport that it is today. So uh, I don't know what's next for Canelo. I saw him tonight feel frustrated. He wilted. He was off balance. His body wasn't doing what it could have done, uh, or at least what he thought it could have done. Despite the decline of Canelo, I'm not entirely sure that this fight would have been different had this happened 5 years, or not, maybe not 5 years ago, but 3 years ago. After the Billy Joe Saunders fight, I'm not sure that that would have changed. Uh, Crawford just had a different gear. He had an answer for everything. So, I think it might be time for Canelo to go play golf. These belts are going to splinter if he wants to go get a trinket title and retire as a world champion. He deserves that. He's carried the sport a long time. I don't think he has any business going up to light heavyweight. That's dangerous. Those guys hit a lot harder than Crawford, and they box just as well. So I don't know about that. As for Crawford, I'm not sure. I think he's another guy, 38 years old. What else does he want to do? He made a boatload of money tonight. There's not there's not really much that he could do after this that would add to his legacy. I think chasing a light heavyweight title is probably, I don't know about risk versus reward there. I'm not saying that he couldn't do it, but I don't think you go up there and bang with those guys. I think you take some time off, you reassess, and perhaps maybe go down to middleweight, grab a title there, then you're sixth division world champion, and then you ride off into the sunset as one of the greatest to ever do it. Um, I was very much impressed with what I saw tonight from Terrence Crawford, as I am pretty much every time he fights. And I'm privileged to have been able to watch him. And I hope that in his post career, which I'm entirely sure he will, he helps build the sport from the bottom up. Go get those kids in boxing gyms. America is the best place in the world for boxing from what we grow on the streets here. And that's what Terrence Crawford can teach these kids. Um, you haven't seen the fight, go watch it. It was a great fight. It's not fight of the year contender or anything like that, but it had ebbs and flows. It had its moments. It had intrigue, and Terrence Crawford put on a virtuoso performance tonight. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure to give me a follow on @BlueCollarBoxing on X. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.